I'm Achie, speaker, coach, and entrepreneur. I'm also a wife and mom to the Seans, my brilliant hubby, Sean Sr., and my vivacious toddler, Sean Jr. I am a perpetual student to this thing called life, and boy, has life taught me some lessons. What I absolutely love is helping you to identify and debunk the limiting beliefs that cause you to hide from your awesomeness. It's time to reprogram your thinking. So settle in, get comfy, and let's girl talk. Just you and me. This is the I Am Achie podcast. I remember sometime last year, I was having a conversation with some friends and we were celebrating wins and accomplishments. And these are like small and large. And a friend asked me, how do you plan to celebrate yourself? And when she asked me, initially I thought, well, why would I do that? I'm not going to celebrate myself. This doesn't cause for a celebration. But as she continued to talk and probe and ask why I didn't think that it needed to be celebrated, it made me really reflect on how much I never celebrate myself. Well, that's not true now, but at that moment, how much I never celebrated myself. And I never been asked this question before. And it really shook me. It shook me to my core. And if I can be honest, it made me very uncomfortable because I thought, why would I do that? And do I deserve to be celebrated? It's not my birthday. It's not my anniversary. Like, I didn't just graduate. Like, why do I need to celebrate something seemingly small? But it made me rise to the occasion, which is why I talk about the importance of having great friends in your circle. But it made me rise to the occasion and made me dig deep and really take some time to evaluate why I don't celebrate myself, why I didn't think I was worthy to celebrate myself, why it really honestly wasn't even a thought to celebrate myself. And I realized that that's not what we're taught to do. If it's not a huge milestone, like if it's not a birthday or a graduation, a wedding, anniversary, even death, if it's not one of those things, or a birth as well, we don't celebrate, but we forget about the smaller accomplishments in between. Like, we're taught to hustle and grind and work. And then you retire or you're burnt out, you get sick, or even better, you die. That's when you're supposed to celebrate. Celebrating ourselves is like a foreign language to us. It's like, oh no, I don't understand. Like, who does that and why? So I did a little research and found that according to thriveglobal.com, there are 3 top reasons that you should celebrate yourself. The first one is it reminds you to celebrate the journey. Now, sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the big picture of life that we ignore all the small things that actually make life worth living on a daily basis. So just like the example of celebrating a birthday every year, like that's well and dandy, but I just don't believe that's the only thing that you've accomplished, big or small, in 365 days. There's got to be something else inside of an entire year that you have accomplished, again, big or small, that can be celebrated. And I'm going to talk about later in the episode ways to celebrate. I'm not saying you need to throw a 50-person party every time you have a small accomplishment. I'm not saying that. However, when we don't have those big things, we tend to ignore the smaller things. And I think that we've got to do a better job of digging deeper on how awesome we truly are and how to not ignore those things, but to celebrate, acknowledge those things, right? The second thing is that it reminds us to be grateful. Now, I did an entire episode on the science of gratitude and how to utilize it to create your reality. It's episode 34 entitled How to Craft Your Life. Now, gratitude completely changes your perspective on life. And when your perspective is changed, your life begins to change. Like, literally, it will begin to take on a new form and physically change right before your eyes. I personally know this to be 100% true. I am not speaking out of theory here. Like, this is 100% true based on personal experience. And so I talk all about this in episode 34, How to Craft Your Life. I will leave the link for the episode in the show notes. And the last reason why you should celebrate yourself is because it increases your confidence. When you celebrate yourself, it can serve as a reminder that you did the damn thing. Whatever the damn thing is, you did it. So as an example, in 2020, I hit a milestone in my business. And one of the celebrations that I said I was going to do is to get a tattoo on my forearm. It took me a while to do it, kept putting it off again. So grateful for my amazing friends. They're like, okay, Achie, where's the tattoo? Where's the tattoo? And so I finally made an appointment, got my tattoo done. And it serves as a reminder for me. Actually, I got 2 tattoos. My first tattoo I ever got in my life, just random facts here. I was 17 years old. And guess what? Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't even realize that, but okay. I got the tattoo when I was 17 years old, and it was actually a celebration of myself for graduating. And I got this tattoo, and have I talked about this before on this podcast? I feel like I have. Anyways, I got the tattoo on my back, the lower part of my back, and my dad didn't know about it. I went with a friend. I was 17. I don't know who tattooed me. Well, I do know who tattooed me at 17. It was a bona fide shop. You're supposed to be 18, but they went ahead and let me get a tattoo. It was a big tattoo on my back. And that was a celebration to myself that you graduated high school. And I think now that I'm saying it out loud, I think for me, the reason why that was a big moment to celebrate, not only because, okay, I graduated, but it was really tough for me. After I lost my mom going into the 10th grade, school was just hard for me after that. Like, school always came very easy for me, but after she passed, it was very challenging for me, even throughout college. I don't know. I feel like I lost my zeal for education. I just did, or just like the structured education. And it just was difficult to get through. And I almost did not graduate because of my graduation test. My GPA was fine, but my graduation test, I failed the science portion by like 3 or 4 points or 2. It was a very small amount of points. And so I had to retake it. But as you know, I don't know if the requirements are the same now, but back then you could pass all of your classes. But if you don't pass the graduation test for the major subjects, then you still won't graduate. And so I was a few points shy on my science portion I had to retake. So that almost caused me not to graduate. So me graduating was such a big deal to me. And I don't remember who I took with me, but I had one friend with me. So this was not a big celebratory thing. No one else knew about it but the one friend. Eventually my dad found out. But no one knew about it. It was just me celebrating myself pretty much in solitude that I had accomplished this thing. And it's crazy that now I'm saying this out loud. I didn't even realize that that's why I knew that's why I was doing it, but I didn't realize how intentional I was about celebrating myself, even at the tender age of 17. So that was a little backstory on my first tattoo. And I've been wanting more throughout the years, and I never got them for various reasons that I'll talk about on another podcast episode. But I got my second tattoo, and then quickly after, like a month later, my third tattoo. But the tattoo that I got, and I'm going to share this on social media, it's on my forearm, and it says, "Building an Empire." And I got this tattoo because I hit the milestone in my personal business, and to remind me every single time I look down at my arm. It's on my left arm. It's right on my forearm, under my watch. And I see it every single day. I can't miss it. And it's to remind me every day that I am building an empire. My dreams and visions of building an empire is alive and well. And sometimes we can forget what we really want, and we can forget what we see. Life can present scenarios that cause us to forget, cause us to doubt, and also to cause us to question if we can really do it, right? And so this is a constant reminder every day whenever I doubt myself, or whenever I think, is it worth it? Or whenever I think, oh my gosh, it's not working. Whenever I have those thoughts and those doubts, I just happen to look down at my arm. And sometimes I may forget it's there. And if I just happen to glance or see it out of my periphery, I'll say, oh, nope, don't forget, Achie, you're building an empire. And so me celebrating myself with my tattoo to serve as a future reminder. Because as I said, remember, we can forget these things. We can forget. And remember, the first thing I said, it reminds you to celebrate your journey, right? This is celebrating my journey. And this is also reminding me that I can do the damn thing, because if I did the damn thing once, I can do the damn thing again and again and more and more and more and more. And so that was my personal celebratory action for that particular thing that I accomplished. And then I got a second tattoo on my right arm. I guess what is this called? I guess like the outer forearm. I don't even know what it's called, but it's on the outer arm, outer portion of my forearm on my right arm on the outside of my wrist. And it says, "She persisted." And I got this tattoo after I ran my first 5K race. That was another celebratory moment because, as I've spoken about ad nauseum on this podcast, that I trained and ran my first 5K race. And if this is your first time listening, I have a couple of episodes, I think 2 episodes, where I talk about the details of what running my first 5K taught me. So you can go back and check those out. But it says she persisted because even though it took me 10 years to run my first 5K and it took me 1 month to run 2, and I'll be running a third one this summer. I wasn't going to, but I decided I'm going to run a third one. So I'm going to run a third one this summer. But what it taught me is that all you have to do is persist. Even if it takes you 10 years, Achie, just persist. And so I see this tattoo if I am in the mirror and I'm fixing my hair or I'm washing my face or whatever I'm doing with my hands up above my head. I see the tattoo and it's a reminder, oh, just remember to continue persisting. And even though those were 2 big things that I accomplished, after you accomplish it, you forget it. You forget it. And I'm not saying everyone needs to get a tattoo, but whatever it is that you need to remind you that you have what it takes and that you could do whatever it is you want to do, celebrate yourself that way. And so those are 2 examples of things that I celebrated. It didn't have to be things even that big. It could be small things. It could be that you made a commitment to meditate and you finally did for a week or 7 days or 3 days, whatever it is. Or maybe you are one who you are working on your attitude and your temperament and you avoided some conflict or you responded to something in a positive way. It could be that you have a goal of exercising, not necessarily losing weight at the time, but just exercising, or a goal of eating better and you have accomplished those goals. Maybe you set a goal for 7 days and you say, okay, for 7 days, I'm going to do this, and you do it. Or for 30 days, I'm going to do this, and you do it. You know, it could be small or big things. It doesn't matter. It can be something large, like maybe you purchased your first house or your first vehicle, or maybe you got out of debt, or maybe you paid some debt off. For me, I am currently celebrating myself for losing a large amount of weight. And I am still on my journey, so I'm going to keep going. I'll share with you, which I haven't shared numbers, but at this point, the last time I weighed myself, I have released 41 pounds, and I'm going to continue to go. My goal is to get to my natural weight. The caveat is that I don't know what my natural weight is because I have been overweight for a large amount of my life. So I don't know, or my adult life. So I'm not sure what my natural weight is anymore. However, I'm just going to listen to my body and just keep going until I get to my natural weight and I feel calibrated and feel in flow with my body. So I'm going to keep going. But it's been 41 pounds and I am celebrating myself. On every 10 pounds, I celebrate myself. And so I'll share with you a couple of things on my celebration list. Now, some of these things are just general self-care things like facial and massage. I'm supposed to get a facial at the very least every 3 months, at the very least. But sometimes I forget, or if I don't schedule it when I'm there, it'll slip my mind. And so I put it on here like as a reminder that, hey, it's time to get another facial. Or my massages. I usually like to get a massage at least once a month. But again, if I don't schedule it right then, after that immediate massage, I'll forget it and I won't think about it. So facial and massage are on here. Buy skates, which I did, had to send back, bought another pair. Listen, I'm going to get my skates. I just bought another pair. I actually want a couple of more tattoos. I want to get the tattoo on my back that I got when I was 17. I wouldn't say covered up, maybe, I don't know, revitalized. That's what I'm thinking. Because I like what it is. I just need to get it redone. I mean, I got it when I was 17. I'll be 39 this year. It's time. I want to get some professional pictures done by a particular stylist that I absolutely love. Spa day. I am going to go to Barnes and Noble to pick out a fiction book that I choose that particular day and buy it and read it. And that may be like, oh, you're buying a book. What's the big deal? You just listen to it on audible.com, or you can just go on like Amazon. But no, I want the experience, because we don't go to bookstores like we used to. And I love bookstores. And also when we go to a bookstore or on Amazon or wherever we're purchasing a book, we kind of know what we're going to buy. Something's been recommended to us. But to go to the bookstore without knowing what you're going to buy forces you to explore things that maybe you would not have explored before. You're going to read a bunch of book summaries. You're going to examine the covers to see which one speak to you. You're going to go down aisles maybe you didn't think to go down before. And so it's the full bookstore experience. It's like a date at the bookstore with myself. And so that's why I say and then fiction, because I'm always reading personal development, self-help, things like that. Reading a fiction book just opens up a different part of your mind, and it just allows you to relax and settle in. I'm not having to read to retain information or to apply something. I am just reading out of pure joy. And so going to the bookstore with nothing planned and just finding whatever fiction book I want to find, or whatever fiction book is calling me or that I'm attracted to, is a date with myself. And I am so looking forward to it. So that is on my list. Swimming lessons. I actually just signed up for swimming lessons because I am going to be 39 years old and I don't know how to swim. And that, my dear, is ridiculous. And I live in Florida now. I used to live in Atlanta. I live in Florida. I've been living a mile from the beach for almost 9 years, and I still don't know how to swim. That is the most ridiculous thing in all the land, okay? That is ridiculous. So I said, forget it. I'm just going to do it. So I have signed up for swimming lessons, okay? Let's see. What else? I also want to join an adult sports league. So one of those things, not like all year round, but like they have fun adult games, kickball, softball, like things like that go for like 8 or 9 weeks, and you meet up on the weekends, and you practice and you have the game, or you may have one night of practice during the week and one game on the weekend, just like for 2 months or something like that. Like, I just want to do things that bring me pure joy, fun things just for Achie that's not attached to anyone else, but just for me, and to signify that life is worth living, and reminding myself that I am worthy to be celebrated on big accomplishments and small accomplishments. Also, I have on here a weekend alone at a hotel or an Airbnb. For those of you who are parents, you know that weekends alone are golden. Okay, when I say alone, I love my husband and I don't want him there either. Alone, like just me by myself in complete solitude for an entire weekend. That is going to be amazing. So let's see what else is on this list. Oh, I want to get another piercing. That's on here. I've told you guys in other episodes, I like piercings and tattoos. I fought it for years. Listen, it's who I am. I like them. So I'm going to end up getting another piercing, probably 2 more. And I think that's all I want to share with you on here. Yeah, so those are a few things that I have on my list. If you notice, I don't have anything on here around food because for me, especially in my health journey to build the best body of my life, a body that will sustain me for the rest of my life, a body that will allow me to have the quality of life that I choose to have. I have found that in the past, when I celebrate with food, it is usually things that do not serve me. I almost always wake up the next morning feeling like crap because I've eaten a crap ton of sugar or fried foods or whatever it is. It tastes amazing, and that we usually celebrate eating those things. That's just, culturally and society, that's just what we're taught to do. But the next day I feel like crap. And I am not about celebrating in the moment and feeling like crap for the next day or two. And celebrating and saying, oh, well, it's just, for my birthday, or it's just for this, or it's just for that. It's like, nope. I'm not saying I'll never eat certain things for the rest of my life. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying where I am right now, I have to undo the habit of celebrating and damaging my system and damaging my energy and damaging my body and calling it a celebration. Maybe I'll cover that in more depth in another podcast episode. So none of my celebrations are attached to food at all. And that was very intentional. So I want to hear from you all. I want you to email me or send me a DM and tell me how you plan to celebrate yourself. You can email me at hello@iamachie.com. Again, that's hello@iamachie.com. I'll link that in the show notes. And also, if you'd like to connect with me outside of the podcast and social media, my email list is the place to be. Visit www.iamachie.com/let's connect. Again, that's iamachie.com/let's connect. Also, if these episodes have been inspiring to you and you'd like to support my work, I'll always say yes to a cup of coffee. The link will be in the show notes. Remember that I love you, I see you, and I want you to win. Talk to you next week. Bye for now. I know firsthand how challenging this personal development journey can be. It can feel lonely, confusing, overwhelming, and even difficult to know exactly where to start. That is why I created an amazing resource for you. Go to iamachie.com to download a free audio training that discusses the top 2 things you should focus on as you begin or continue your journey to shifting your mindset. Yep, only 2 things. I like to keep it simple and actionable. Again, that's iamachie.com. And also, if you enjoyed today's episode, I have a favor to ask of you. My goal is to get this podcast in front of as many women as possible. The things I discuss are the things I wish someone would have told me when I began this journey. So in order to do that, please take a few seconds to share this episode with a friend and leave a 5-star review. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified when I release new episodes. I love you, I see you, and I'm rooting for you. Bye for now.